Hi there and welcome to Hyundai Power Equipment. My name's Adrian and today we're going to look at the HYM510SPER lawnmower. So I've laid the box contents out here on the table so you can see exactly what comes in your packaging. First of all, we have the mower unit itself with the two parts of the handle on top, and the lower handle is actually removable, so I'll remove that. So the mower itself with the upper handle and the lower handle. The first step is to carefully, without catching any of the control cables, remove the upper handle, which is attached by these three cables. As you saw me twist it around so that the cables follow up the same side as the upper handle, and then lower the upper handle over and out of the way. Again, taking care not to trap any of these cables so you don't kick them. Again, the control panel with the key switch, we can tuck that over to this side of the lawnmower as well. So this U-shaped steel bar is the lower handle. So I'll just remove the packaging back out of the way, and you will see that there are 4 nuts and bolts in the lower handle. So our first step is going to be to remove these 4 nuts and bolts and place them to one side. So that's 2 on the left, and there are 2 on the right hand side as well. Okay. If you look at the handle, you will see that on one side is a wire pigtail which is going to hold the pull starter handle at a later date, which is here. So that needs to go on the right hand side from the operator position. So our first step will be to place one of the 4 bolts that we just removed through from the inside out and through the upper hole of the handle here. And I'll just place one of the nuts back on just lightly. I'll do exactly the same on this side, from the inside out, place it through the upper hole and just fit a nut on loosely. Now I can lift the handle into position, place the second bolt through the lower hole, do a little bit of a wriggle, holding it through the hole, and again just place the nut back on lightly. And same again on this side, bolt from the inside of the mower towards the outside, with the nuts towards the outside of the mower, and tighten them up. We can now just tighten these up finger tight, and we'll tighten them up with a spanner, and I'll give you a close-up of that. So having fitted the 4 nuts and bolts through the lower handle with the bolts facing from the inside out, I can tighten up the 4 nuts. You'll need a 12mm spanner for this, or you could use a socket, something like that, but a 12mm. That's that side tight, and I'll do the same on the other side. So having tightened up the lower 4 bolts in the lower handle, and I can now remove these hand wheels and the bolts. I'll pull the packaging out of the way from the top of the lower handle. On the right hand side we have the wire pigtail and the bolt. So I'll just remove the 4 bolts and I'll just pull that packaging out of the way. And we'll note at this point I've actually pulled them up. There are 2 plastic clips which are inside the packaging, or were on the handles down here. We'll just place them low on the handle there, out of the way for the time being. Hold on. It's disappeared inside the plastic tube, there we go. So we'll just place them down there for the time being. So at this stage I can place the upper handle, again bringing it up and over, and taking care not to trap any of the control cables, and place it in position on the top handle. I can then feed again the bolts from the inside towards the outside, just lining up the holes, and place the bolts loosely through the handle. as I say, taking care not to trap any of the control cables because we don't want to kink them. Once that's done, you can simply replace the two hand wheels. And that's the upper handle fitted to the lower handle. So taking one of the plastic clips that we had earlier on, we'll place it around the cables and just locate them neatly in position. Now we need to fit the control panel onto the upper handle. Now it sits in this position here between the two control sides, and we'll need the two rectangular plates that were in with the instruction manuals and two screws on either side fitting here. I'll demonstrate that. What we do is to fully screw one side on in position first. So I'll show you a close-up of that. So we have these roughly rectangular plates, and we can place them over the two screw holes. Place two of the screws, one in each hole. And screw them down until they're tight. Oops. Screw them down until they're tight on just the one side. So the next step is going to be to locate it in position. Once we've got it in position on the control panel, we'll fit the other plate to the other side with the other two screws. So as you can see, having fitted the one plate, it will now slot into the groove here and hold that side firm, and now we can screw on the other side. So I'll place the lock through the slot in the handle. Just get one screw started. Then the second one. And now I can fully tighten down the two screws for this side. And that's the four screws locked down and the control panel fixed in place. Again, much the same as the other side, taking the small clip, I'll just fit it there to locate the battery cable out of the way. Final little job for the assembly of the handle is to fit the pull start cord through here. So, put the string against the front, like so, take the top around and up and release to put the pull starter in position. Let's move on to putting engine oil in the engine. Now, it's vitally important that you put engine oil in your engine before you even attempt to start it, as it ships to you with no engine oil in the engine. Now, the oil you're going to need is a 1030 or 1540 grade normal engine oil. And it is filled through this filler combined dipstick here on the right hand side of the engine. I'll bring you in a bit closer. To remove the filler plug combined with the dipstick, simply unscrew it anti-clockwise and remove the dipstick. You will see that on the bottom of the dipstick is a cross-hatched area, and at the top of this cross-hatched area is a word maximum, and that would be the maximum oil level. Using a suitable container, pour the engine oil gradually into the lawnmower. Allow time for the oil to run down the filler neck before dipping it. And to dip it, simply place the dipstick in the hole and withdraw it. Once the oil comes up to the correct level, I shall show you that in a moment, you can replace the dipstick. As you can see, my oil level is now correct and it's up to the line marked maximum. So I can now replace the dipstick, screwing it in clockwise until it's tight, and that's your engine oil filled. So having filled and checked the engine oil level, we can move on to fuel. The fuel filler is here on the rear left hand side of the engine from the operator position, and the fuel filler cap unscrews anti-clockwise. Now, never fill when the engine is hot, and never fill certainly when the engine is running. Allow it time to cool to avoid the risk of fire. So from a suitable container, fill the fuel tank with fresh unleaded petrol up to within around 25mm or an inch of the top of the fuel tank to allow room for fuel expansion. Should you spill any fuel, wipe up any excess and allow plenty of time for it to evaporate before starting the engine. So once it's full to within 25mm of the top, replace the fuel filler, turning it clockwise until it's firm. And that's how to fuel your lawnmower. So the final part of assembly is to put the handle onto the filler box. Now this is really simple, little barbs on the bottom, 3 barbs on the top, large end, large hole, small end, small hole, so to speak. Squeeze the clips and simply pop it into position, and that's the handle fitted. Let's talk about the starting procedure for your lawnmower. There are 3 basic operations plus a pull starter should you need it. This front handle is the OPC handle, or operator present control. And think of it as an on-off switch. Whenever it's forward, the lawnmower is off, and when it's back, the lawnmower is on. And it will not start and will not continue to run unless this handle is pulled back. The lever here on the left hand side of the control panel is the choke lever. Right forward when it's running, and for a cold start, right back. So right back would put the choke on, then you would pull the operator present control lever, the start lever, and you can, I'll just do it, turn the key and crank the lawnmower until it starts. Once started, you can turn the choke to the off position. If at any time you let go of the OPC handle, the engine will stop. For a warm start, you may not need to use the choke. So all you would need to do is pull back the OPC and again start the lawnmower with the key. Should you have a flat battery, you can alternatively use the pull starter to start it in the conventional way. The lawnmower itself will not charge the battery while it's running. So when your lawnmower is new, you will need to charge the battery from the mains charger, and it will take around 5 hours. If you stored the unit for long periods of time, you may need to charge the battery again for about 5 hours, and I will show you how to charge the battery. When you want to drive the lawnmower, having started it, your front handle is back. If you then pull the rear handle, it will engage the drive, the roller will start to roll, and away you go cutting grass. To disengage the roller or the drive, release the rear handle, and if at any time you let go of both handles, the roller will disengage and the engine will come to a stop. So a quick recap: for a cold start, choke on, handle back, turn the key. Once started, turn the choke off. To stop the mower, release the handle. For a warm start, forward into the run position, pull the OPC and start with either the key or the pull starter. At any time to stop, release the OPC handle. And that's how to start and stop your lawnmower. To charge the battery on your lawnmower, we have provided a battery charger. It plugs into a standard 13 amp outlet and plugs into the battery using this jack plug here on the rear bottom right hand side of the battery from the operator position, and simply plugs into this jack plug here. Your lawnmower is provided with a single point, 7 position cutting height adjustment lever. No spanners, nothing needed to adjust the cutting height, and very quick and simple. This lever here, one would pull out away from the mower, fully back for the highest cutting position, giving the highest ground clearance, and adjustable through 7 positions all the way down to the lowest cut at position 1. Quick and as simple as that, from full height to lowest height, with simply the movement of a handle. This mower has 2 modes of operation: cut and drop, where you would simply cut and drop the grass back onto the lawn, or cut and collect, where you would fit the basket. This position is cut and drop. This being the discharge chute for the cuttings, they would simply come out under the flap and drop back onto the grass. Never place your hand in this area with the engine running. Probably best not to lift the flap with the engine running, as it gives you direct access to the rotating blades. To fit the cutting basket, you will see that there are 2 latches either side of this area here. Let's give you a better view, there and there. And similarly, 2 hooks on the basket. Simply place the 2 hooks in position over those little notches and close the flap, and that's the basket fitted. To remove the collection basket, simply lift the flap, lift the basket, again out of the way. Simple, quick and efficient. I do hope you found this demonstration useful. For more information on this or any of our other products, simply visit www.hyundaipowerequipment.co.uk. I've been Adrian, and happy mowing!